Okay, in the last video we talked about going from a C chord to an F chord by keeping the note that they both have in common, the C chord and the F chord, which this is the C chord, that's an F chord, they both have a C in common. So let's just keep the C here when we go to the F chord. F, A, C. Instead of going there, we're just going to play the same notes just in a different order because, well, somebody once told me pianists are lazy and they want to move as little as possible. So instead of going from here, a C chord, to an F chord all the way over here, we're going to go from a C chord to an F chord here, keeping the C the same. And of course, that's not really why a lot of people choose to go from here to here. Not because we're lazy, but because musically it also makes sense. Instead of just skipping around everywhere, the voices for each one of these notes get to move in a much more natural way. Alright, so that's that. Let's go to the G chord now, which would be here. And what a lot of you may have seen, and especially in piano books, is a G7 chord, which a lot of the books will have it be played this way, which is really, really confusing. What is that? How is that a G7 chord? Well, we're going to talk about that today. So this is a G chord, C chord, F chord, G chord. Now, the G chord, any chord, okay, if this is a G chord, that means that the G is the root of the chord. That's what note the chord is made out of. So that's the root, and we can also call that the first. And this is going to be the third, and this is going to be the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. This is the root or the first, the third of the chord, the fifth of the chord. So this is a G chord. Now guess what a G7 chord also has. It's going to have the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. Okay? So 1, 3, 5, 7. An easy way to know where the seventh is of any chord is, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it goes back to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay? So the seventh is always going to be next to 1. We have a 1 here. There's the seventh. There's 1. There's the 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you can just go 1, 7, 1, 7. Okay? So far, we actually almost have that chord I played earlier, the G7 chord. But how did we get there? Well, we had the G, we have the 7th. What about the other notes? Let's go back to the G chord in root position, it's called, meaning nicely stacked in thirds with G at the bottom. So we have G, B, D, F. What they did is they actually took away the D out of the chord, okay? And they just had G, B, and F. But they wanted F and G to be together. So there's F and G, and there's a B. They left out the D. So there's a G7 chord, take out the D, which is the fifth. 1, 3, 5, 7, take out the fifth. Now you have a G7 chord without the fifth. with the root, G, being at the top of the chord instead of being at the bottom of the chord. There it is, G7 chord. Now why that? That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's go back to our C chord. C, F, C chord. We don't have to move around as much. This G stays the same. The E from the C chord moves up to F, and the C from the C chord moves down to B to give us that G7 chord. And back to C. So we have C, F, C, G7, back to C. Alright, thanks for watching.